You know, it's kind of funny how expectation and reality don't always quite align properly. It's been a week now since I left Red Eagle Lane to become the new CTW European Champion, and I've got to be honest, I was so confident in my victory that I already planned my victory speech ahead of time. And in this planned victory speech, the idea was to be all smiles and wear a resplendent outfit like this and get the cameraman to pan up and pan down as they always do to show off just how glorious I look. But as I was rehearsing this speech over and over and over again, something didn't quite sit right with me. You see, why do I always draw attention to the superficial? Why is it that instinctively I always just seem to point out how pretty my face is, how well my clothes look, how well groomed my hair is? Why do I always focus on that? Because as a knock-on result, it feels like all the fans can ever focus on is, oh, Hendrix, he's a character, oh, he gets out there and he's ridiculous. Nobody ever wants to appreciate that I am the best competitor on the CTW roster, and now I have the hard way to prove it. You see, I was going to crack a joke that no resplendent outfit is perfect without the right belt. Well, I'm sorry, but it's abundantly clear to me now that I'm going to have to cut all of that out. I'll still dress like this, I'll still look as pretty as I do, but I'm not going to draw attention to that anymore. You see, it doesn't matter how well groomed my hair is anymore, it doesn't matter how nice my clothes are, it doesn't matter how pretty my face is. You need to appreciate my greatest asset. You see, I am by far the most experienced, the most fierce, and the most cerebral of all the wrestlers that have ever competed here in CTW. Don't believe me? Allow me to just tell you a quick story. You see, about 10 years ago, a young wrestler by the name of Red Eagle first flew out of his native Portugal, and he tried to make a name for himself on a more international level. And about 10 years ago, he under-rotated on a moonsault, landed on the floor in a match in France, and snapped his arm in half. He worked hard, he recovered, he rehabbed it, and about 3 years later, as I watched on from the stands, I saw him defend himself against a penalty kick, and once again, the arm snapped. On both those occasions, Red Eagle worked tremendously hard to build himself back up and go on to have a career that's great by anybody's metric. The man has wrestled in Kurikan Hall for All Japan Pro Wrestling, he's wrestled for Chikara, he's wrestled for Beyond Wrestling, he's trained with all the world champions that you can name in current modern day professional wrestling. But, you see, Red, the whole time while you were off having this glorious career, I was thinking. I was watching and I was waiting, and when the moment was right, well, I struck, didn't I? I claimed the gold that you've been parading around with for the last 2 years, calling yourself a champion, when we all know the facts. You use this pandemic as an excuse. You call yourself a champion, but you were quite happy just sitting at home or doing pull-ups in the dojo downstairs, even when I left your own dad laying in a heap in the middle of the ring. You still didn't step up, you still didn't want the fight. Well, I picked my moment, and my God, I made the most of it. So, as since we've already established, I'm clearly that bit smarter than you and the rest, it obviously comes as no surprise to me that you're eventually going to get a rematch for this belt. But you see, the key word there, Red, is eventually. Because much like you made me wait, now's my time to make you wait. But fear not, because now more than ever, it seems abundantly clear that CTW needs a fighting champion. You see, I, unlike you, never intended to take the easy way out. As a matter of fact, I'm going to brush you to the side for the time being, and I'm going to formally announce that the Timeless Classic Open Challenge is officially open for business. So if you are a professional wrestler that fancies your chance at the richest prize that CTW currently has to offer, come get me. See, don't get it twisted. This is not the first championship belt that I have ever won. Far from it. But you see, now more than ever, there's a bit of a chip on my shoulder because, as mentioned, people focus too much on the superficial. These fans, these so-called wrestling journalists, they want to focus more on me cheating and using underhanded tactics. Nobody wants to mention the fact that my last 3 matches I've won with different submission holds. I have a repertoire that keeps growing. I am the elite wrestler here in CTW, and I'm going to prove it. Not just to the wrestlers, but to the promoters. The ones that didn't want to book me because I focused too much on the in-ring and not enough about building a name for myself on Twitter. And for the other promoters who did book me and did see my potential but never wanted me to go anywhere else because they were threatened about how much of a big star I could be. This is for you. This is for the wrestlers that back in the day thought I was too weird because I was quiet and respectful, and those same wrestlers that would be nice to my face and they'd shake my hand, and as soon as my back was turned they'd say all the names about me, and now those same wrestlers are saying that I'm too arrogant. You're saying that I'm too overrated because I found my voice and I know how good I am. And most importantly, this is for all the people, fans, friends, family members, fellow wrestlers, I don't give a damn. This is for anyone who's ever felt that it was their right to pass comment on me. To tell me 10 years ago when I started that I was too skinny, that I'd never make it in this business. And when I made a concerted effort to bulk up and be better, those same people told me that I was too big, I was too fat, I was too unhealthy. If you've ever contributed a modicum of self-doubt in my head, if you've ever contributed to a week of depression that I've ever had when I've sat in bed and not even wanted to do the one thing that fulfills me with purpose, then this is for you. And I promise you this, to all those songbirds, to all those fans that like to tweet, and those songbirds that like to sing and chant and taunt, when I'm in the ring, sweating, dying of thirst, sing about me, and I promise you, at the end of it, when that referee counts 3, or that opponent taps out, I'll be there to say, I told you so.